her childhood and her follow-up to her hugely popular children's book series, When I Talk to God, I Talk About Feelings, teaching children how to explore and express their emotions. We touched on this a bit in the first up top of our conversation, Chrissy. I grew up the same way. Kids are seen and not heard.
Right.
Right. And it wasn't really, honestly, until I had my son that I realized social and emotional development is as important as knowing your ABCs.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to tell people how you feel.
Right. Absolutely.
Your childhood was one that you've talked about. You talked about it in your memoir.
Yes.
That your mom was that scrappy kind of mom,
Yeah.
doing the best she can. You grew up in Gainesville, Florida.
Yes.
Your mom would, struggle financially to take care of you. And then your stepfather came in the picture.
Right.
And things changed.
Yeah, they changed significantly.
For you, down to the point that there was verbal abuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why did you want to share that? Because when you write a memoir, it's a memoir, but you get a choice to tell what you want to tell.
Uh-huh. And I debated.
Yeah.
I was like, how much do I share? Yeah. I never wanted to throw him under the bus. It wasn't like I'm trying to say things that aren't true or to defame him. Mm-hmm. It was my truth. Yeah. And for so long, I didn't get to speak my truth. Mm-hmm. And doing that was very cathartic. It was like very healing, but also so many people were like, I experienced that too. Mm. And I was like, oh, what I was so afraid of, it made everybody feel so much less alone. Wow. And me, as well, myself. So, yeah.
In your best-selling memoir, you talked about your stepfather and the physical and emotional abuse. He denied the allegations, saying none of it was true. Mm. I'm not bringing it up for that part. The part that I found so brave and courageous of you, honestly, is to then talk about forgiveness. Yeah. And at some point, you got to the point where you needed to forgive him. Yeah. For what? Why did you need that?
Well, they say that resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to be sick. Mm. And I was like, oh, I have to let this go. I have to forgive him for me. Yeah. And while it's very hard, it's not linear.
No,
yes,
it's
for
not.
Yourself.
Listen, because I struggle with it.
Yeah, forgiveness is hard.
Yeah, and not that I struggle with forgiveness. I struggle with sometimes, especially childhood trauma. I've been very honest that I was raised by my stepfather, who was the dad that God meant for me to have.
Right.
My biological father and I don't have a relationship. And while I'm not angry at him, I struggle with how you process the pain of childhood.
Right. Yes.
And you decided with your stepfather, you needed to at some point give forgiveness there.
Yeah, and also, when he was ill, I was like, I have to write him a letter because I want him to know that I have forgiven him and I love him and I'm so grateful. He was more of a father to me than my own biological father. And I never wanted to have him transition and then not get to say what I really wanted to say.
Wow.
And I wanted him to know that I loved him. And I'm so grateful for him because he was the father I was supposed to have. And I learned so much from him. And now I get to talk about it and hopefully help other people talk about it.
Wow. It's powerful. Yeah. That's a powerful message.
Yeah.
Going back to the book, you tackle a lot of feelings, and particularly the part about bravery stood out to me. I've been open with the audience that my son, after the pandemic, he was super shy out in the world. At home, he was spicy.com. And then we would go out and he's the kid who would hide behind me. At the grocery store, he was a little less likely to say hi to people. And you have this part in the book. You said, flapping my wings, I'm ready to fly. Soon I'll be soaring way up in the sky. I know it's okay to leave the nest. I believe in myself and I'll do my best. When I talk to God, I talk about being brave.
Yeah.
That just took me over the edge.
Yeah. I think bravery is also cultivated. I think that, we're like, okay, we really want to do something, but it's not until we've done something that's uncomfortable and then we sort of put something like I think confidence is just trust in ourselves. And so, okay, I can trust myself. I did that then. I could do it again. And then maybe I could do it again. And it's really something that it's going to take time. At least it had for me. And it's still, I still, of course, am learning how to be brave about all sorts of things.
What was the last? Give me an example of a recent thing.
Oh gosh, I did a movie in South Africa, and I was like, I'm scared to be on a plane for that long. Like, that's just real talk.
Well, I've
Like,
gone to say it's 21 hours. I flew to South Africa. You're like,
Yeah.
where is this place
Yes,
again?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I'm like, okay, and I'm going by myself, and I'm going to a place I've never been, and like, all of the uncertainty
Yeah.
is really something I have to be brave about.
Do you find that experience in your career? Because obviously people fell in love with you on This Is Us, but you were are a transformational actress, meaning you present authentically of who you are. You did not suddenly disappear and come back significantly different looking.
Sure.
And you did lean into the conversation on body positivity.
Well,
And
yeah.
that can be intimidating.
Well, I think you have to love yourself for who you are now
Yeah.
to get to the place that you want to be.
Yeah.
Should you want to change?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I think that so much of how we feel about ourselves, you know, people project onto us.
Yeah.
And if we were loved and it was cultivated and it was like bolstered as we were growing up, like we wouldn't think we were different or
Yeah.
inadequate or less than. And you're like, wait, why is me being a different body shape affecting you? Like,
Yeah,
what is it?
right.
And do you really care? Is it really about my health, or do you like
Right.
act, like what is it? And so for me, I just don't take it personally anymore. I'm like, what you think about me is not my business.
Did you get that way through parents?
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
How much of your faith had to do with that? Because we can say, you know what, I'm cool with me.
Sure.
But then you go home and you pray and say, like with me, I'm like, what is it? No weapon formed against me. You know, I have
Right.
my different prayers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You knew it wasn't about you. How did your faith play a role in that?
Oh, I mean, surrendering and trusting, because God knows best. I don't.
Yeah.
My ego does not know best. I don't know what I'm doing. So that for me is like, if I surrender and trust in one thing, I have to surrender and trust in everything.
Yes.
And that is everything.
Yeah.
And that's not easy.
Yeah.
So I do that, you know, I'm like, if I can't attach to the good or to the negative, what people say about me, like it's their perception. Their perception is their reality. It's not mine.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a work in progress. If I want to change, if I want to stay the same, whatever, it's my business.
Yes.
And I really, truly believe that like, if people love and care about themselves, they can't be hateful to you, you know, about anything.
I believe that.
You know,
I believe
like,
that. I believe that.
So I try to have grace and love for people who don't have it for me.
Oh,
You know, I try.
grace and love for people when they don't have it for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be tattooed up with things and quotes from you. Coming up, we're gonna get the scoop on Chrissy's trip to South Africa and her recent move to Nashville. What's going on down there? We'll be right back.